Hello, my friend. Welcome to your sleep story. My name is Stephen Dalton, and as always, it is my privilege to be the voice that you choose to listen to as you go to sleep tonight. In tonight's story, a young actor goes to sleep in the London of today, but wakes up in the London of the 1500s and meets his hero, William Shakespeare. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a regular listener, you know you are welcome. As always, before we start the story and the relaxation exercise, just a little reminder that comments, subscriptions, and likes help keep this channel alive. And so I would ask you, whether it's tonight or in the morning when you wake up refreshed, please let me know how you're getting on with the channel. It means a lot, and as you'll see, I often reply. Okay, let's get relaxed before the story. Feel how your body is just lying here. All you have to do in this moment is notice. Keep it simple. Breathe in slowly through your nose and out through your mouth. Notice how your stomach rises and falls. Now, imagine a color. Perhaps it's your favorite color. Now, bring your self-awareness to your chest. Feel free to put your hand on it. And feel inside yourself. And imagine your color as a bright light. In the beginning, it is a small sphere of light, sitting in the center of your chest. Now, expand this light with every breath. Let it grow a little larger until it has become a sphere of light which surrounds your chest. Breathe in and out naturally, and see how this energy expands more and more. Your whole body is now enveloped in this radiant color. Notice that every cell of your body glows in this color. It flows from your arms to your torso, onto your neck, your head, and moves into your chest, to your abdomen. It flows and pulsates in a calm stream of colored light. It flows into your pelvic floor, into your thighs, to your lower legs, to your feet. Feel into your toes and feel the pleasant warmth and flow of energy that is now circulating in your body. Allow this to bring peace to you, and just let go. It's time for your story. Lucas is an actor. Some might say a struggling actor, living in contemporary London. One night, he found himself pacing the floor of his small apartment. The sound of the rain gently tapping against the window panes accompanied his thoughts as the dim glow of the streetlights cast shadows on his walls. Tomorrow was the day, the audition that could change his life forever. It was an opportunity that most actors dream of, to play Romeo at Shakespeare's Globe Theatre on the banks of the River Thames. And it was an opportunity that Lucas couldn't afford to miss. He was excited. He was, if he was honest, a little nervous too. He ran his lines through his mind over and over again. After hours of nervous preparation, the young actor finally collapsed into his bed, exhausted. The faint scent of jasmine wafted in through his slightly open window and mingled with the smell of worn books and the slightly damp air of his apartment. Eventually, his exhaustion took hold, and he slipped into a deep, fitful sleep. When Lucas awoke, he looked around. He found himself in a world that looked different. The familiar sounds of car engines and honking horns were replaced by the sounds of farm animals, church bells, and the distant hum of hushed conversations. He then looked at his immediate environment and realized that he had woken up in a bed of hay. The London he knew, with its bustling streets and modern architecture, had vanished. replaced by a city that seemed to have emerged from the pages of a history book. He stood in awe, gazing at the narrow cobblestone streets, the quaint timber-framed houses, and the people dressed in clothing of another time for sure. He looked down at himself and saw that he was dressed similarly. He certainly didn't look out of place in this time. One thing was certain. He felt safe here. Very safe, in fact. The air was thick with the aroma of smoky fuel burning, freshly baked bread, and the unmistakable scent of horse manure. As he wandered, step by step, deeper and deeper into the city, Lucas realized for sure that he was in another time, a time that he had studied most of his life, a time he was obsessed with. He was in Elizabethan London, the time of William Shakespeare. He looked at the people, their faces. The thought came to him that these faces could just as easily be in the 21st century as they are in this time. He was reminded in this moment of something that we all share: humanity, what it is to be a human. And as a young actor, these sorts of insights were pretty valuable. Lucas now knew that if he was indeed in Shakespeare's London, that the great theatre of the great man, the globe, must not be too far. Now Lucas knew modern London like the back of his hand, and so, by understanding the geography of that place, he soon figured out where he was in relation to where the globe should be. He decided that it was time to find the hallowed place. He walked alongside the River Thames, past London Bridge, a far more interesting sight in these days. Shops and alleyways, people working and selling, populate the bridge. he continued along the river, passing by all manner of people, and eventually he found himself in front of what looked like a magnificent round theatre. "There it is," he whispered to himself, his eyes wide with disbelief. This was indeed the Globe Theatre. The atmosphere surrounding the theatre was filled with life. The feeling was kind of familiar to Lucas. The thought struck him that London has always kept this energy. Then, on the ground, he noticed a piece of paper, a valuable thing in these days, and when he picked it up, he realized that this was a flyer advertising Romeo and Juliet. Now Lucas knew exactly what year he was in. The year that Romeo and Juliet was first performed, 1597. Then, as if from nowhere, a kindly-faced man with a little beard was walking towards Lucas. "There you are, Lucas. I've been looking for you everywhere. Come on, we're ready for rehearsal." Lucas wasn't quite sure what was happening, but he felt safe in this place, and he decided to go along with whatever was happening. Soon, he found himself entering a door at the side of the theatre, and as he followed the man, Lucas was immediately enveloped by the sounds and smells of this remarkable place. The theatre was empty, apart from a group of men standing on the stage. They all welcomed Lucas with a round of applause, as if they all knew him. He got onto the stage, and then the man with the little beard started telling him what to do. "Okay, Lucas, so you enter from stage right, and that's when you see her on the balcony." Lucas, again, decided to go along with this. "But can I ask, Mr. Shakespeare?" another man said. Lucas couldn't believe his ears. The man with the little beard was none other than William Shakespeare. The man asking the question continued. "Do I know he loves me yet?" Lucas was confused. But then he remembered that the only actors who performed on Shakespeare's stage were men. So Juliet was played by a man. And as Lucas looked at Juliet, asking the question of William Shakespeare, he knew that he must be playing Romeo. Shakespeare answered the question, and then called for the actors to be in their places. Time for rehearsal of the balcony scene. The globe went silent. Lucas walked on the stage and looked towards the balcony. Juliet standing there, lovesick, looking into the great beyond. Lucas knew these words, and so he spoke, but soft. "What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres, till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eye in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head, as a winged messenger of heaven, unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him when he bestrides the lazy, puffing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air. Lucas felt like he was in a trance, and so was everyone around him. Shakespeare stopped at that point and said, "Well done, Lucas. This is excellent. My only note is to keep things fresh. Keep finding the thoughts. Allow them to drop. Don't know what you're going to say next. This moment for you is one of the biggest of your life so far. So, what does Romeo want? In this moment, all he wants is that girl that he can see standing on that balcony under the blanket of stars. Find the moment. Find the freshness and speak. Really speak to her. She can't hear you, but really speak as if you are talking to her, to the air around you, and to the audience. And remember, you are an authentic young man, so keep it close to yourself. We don't need any acting. Bring your truth. That's when we are fascinated as an audience. Lucas couldn't believe what he was hearing. Some of the best acting advice he had ever received and it was being given to him by William Shakespeare as he stood on the Globe Theatre in 1597. This remarkable theatre, this open-air playhouse, where from the stage, when you look up, you see the sky above you, or if you like, the heavens. It was a theatre built of timber, and it was an imposing 3 stories high. It had a diameter of about 100 feet, and it could accommodate an audience of up to 3,000 people. The theatre had a thrust stage which projected into the yard where the commoners would stand and watch performances. They were close enough to touch the actors, which made for an electric atmosphere. And so, later that beautiful summer's evening, Lucas stood on the Globe stage in the first ever performance of Romeo and Juliet. He played the part with grace and competence, charisma, and undeniable talent. The crowd loved him, and Shakespeare couldn't have been happier. The actors that night brought the timeless story of Romeo and Juliet to life. Their words and actions weaved a tapestry of love, passion, and tragedy. And their great work meant that that great play is still with us today. That night, Shakespeare bid adieu to Lucas and disappeared into the crowds, leaving Lucas immersed in a feeling of great joy. The next morning, Lucas opened his eyes and looked around him. he realized he was back in the London of today. He thought to himself, what an incredible dream that was, and felt grateful that he had slept so deeply. He turned on his pillow and looked to his left, and there, lying on his bedside table, was the flyer for Romeo and Juliet. The flyer he had picked up in 1597. He realized that his encounter with Shakespeare had been real. And as he walked to his audition at the Globe Theatre of today, Lucas didn't feel nervous. He felt calm and confident. The advice that he had received from Shakespeare echoed in his mind, reminding him to trust his instincts, to find the thoughts, and to really say the words. Stepping onto the stage, Lucas took a deep breath and began his audition. And as he spoke the lines, he felt the power of his friend Shakespeare with him, guiding his every word and movement. Once again, the theatre fell silent. The casting people, the director, and producers were captivated by Lucas's authentic and passionate portrayal of Romeo. When his audition was over, Lucas knew in his heart that he had given everything he had. He had drawn upon the wisdom and encouragement of the great playwright himself, and had allowed himself to be swept away by the power of the story. Days later, Lucas received the news that the Globe Theatre of today had been restored. He was so that he had been longing to hear. He had been cast as Romeo in the upcoming production of Romeo and Juliet at the Globe Theatre. Weeks later, as he began the run of the show, Lucas would, night after night, under a blanket of stars shining above London town, deliver that great speech that he had for Shakespeare back in 1597. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun.